besides your event, what's one event that you dream about hosting if you had the chance or opportunity?
I'd love to host like a KidsQ invitational, like something that brought all the kids together from across the U.S. and make sure there was no barrier for fiscal, like there would be no barrier cost because to travel as a family is hard because they can't travel by themselves. So there is an additional fiscal cost. And at the end, the winner would have some sort of scholarship or money that could be put aside if they wanted a training school or they wanted to go to a trade school or a college or something like that, just because it keeps the education component, which is really important. That would be a dream to be able to pull that off and, have no barriers, all access, all included.
That was a good idea.
It's out there.
I thought you were gonna say the Jack or something like that. You blew my mind on that one. I was like, wow, that was a good
I mean,
answer.
I would like to go to the Jack. Don't get me wrong, but like for like when I focus on like what we are focused on, for me, it's important that the kids have something that is that like kind of like a Jack for the kids, right? Like that they get an invitational, they get to go somewhere, and like the Royal has a big kids queue.
Listen, learn, get inspired. I'm Tavis Bryant, and this is BBQ Therapy. Like, subscribe, and follow to help grow the barbecue therapy community. Also, visit my website at www.bbqtherapypodcast.com.
Bring on down, barbecue, your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on.
Welcome to the BBQ Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant, and today on BBQ Therapy, we're talking with someone who wears more hats than just about anybody in barbecue. She's an educator, nonprofit leader, organizer, barbecue judge, media personality, wife, mom, and across the barbecue world, she's simply known as BBQ MOM. But what I love most about that is she's proven barbecue isn't just about trophies or perfect brisket. It's about bringing people together. We're going to talk about inclusive BBQ events, kids, veterans, competitions, what happens behind the scenes of running events. And one thing I'm really excited about is this season, she's actually competing against her husband, but we'll get into that also. All right, Miss Kathy Trainor, welcome to BBQ Therapy Podcast. I got one rule, make yourself at home.
Well, I am at home and comfortable. It's nearly the end of my day, so I am very comfortable.
All right, appreciate you joining me. All right, and at the beginning, I usually take it back. Where were you born, and what was the food scene around your household growing up?
So I am I've always lived in New England. So seafood is very big in this area. I grew up in an Italian and Scottish home, so mostly Italian dishes. But when I travel, I love to just try any new dish. I'm very food adventurous. I'm very, like, I'll try different foods in different areas of the country and things like that.
And did y'all cook a lot growing up? Seafood or?
I would say we cooked a lot. I'd say my family cooked a lot. We would have big family outings with lots of food. Seafood, definitely. I grew up when I was little right on the coast, so we would have fresh seafood daily. That was never a problem. As we get older, we try to find like fresh fish markets within an hour of the docks, just because it's the best. And we live so close to Maine that we get fresh lobster pretty much every day.
Okay. And did y'all grill any growing up or
Um,
non-existent up there?
Maybe just hamburgers and hot dogs. I really didn't get into barbecue until I got married.
Okay. Okay. And growing up, did you participate in any competitive things?
Softball, swimming, mostly. I I did it because like that was what was available nearby, but I really didn't become competitive really until I met my husband. It was like when we met, we were very competitive with each other, so it kind of sparked that ongoing.
All right. Well, let's lead up to that. And when you met your husband, how did y'all get introduced to a barbecue? Did he have a barbecue background, or did y'all just stumbling into get together?
He always worked in kitchens through high school and college. When we met, we would go on dates to like various restaurants. We would do day trips to like further out restaurants and try different foods, whether it be barbecue or Chinese food or like a new restaurant in town we would try. But when we got married, he was really big into home brewing, like beer and alcohol and things like that. But as we had children, this takes up too much space in the house. You have to find an outdoor hobby. Well, 20 minutes away from the house, there was a contest where you could cook chicken wings and ribs, and he had really good wings. And we packed up the minivan and we went with our little pellet smoker, and we got a call. And that was it. We loved every second of it. It was pouring. We were standing in puddles. I was trying to figure out how to make a box with garnish, and I was just done with parsley. I hated it. But at the end of the day, I loved it. It was just a lot of fun, and we just hit the ground running almost 15 years ago, and we haven't looked back.
So y'all came out the gate winning.
Yep.
Worst things you can.
That's what got us hooked. We say it now when we have a new team. If you get a call, you're hooked. You're in. There goes all your weekends.
All right. When y'all did that, is anything surprised you going into it that you wasn't expecting, or?
How much we forgot. I think I walked over to the local hardware store about 7 times. Like, oh, we forgot this, or oh, we needed tie downs, or oh, I needed an extra tablecloth. Years ago, there wasn't as much social media. There was no checklists out. You couldn't watch YouTube or TikTok to find out like the quick hacks. You were figuring it out in the moment. And today it's much easier to get started. You can really be prepared when you set up your first time.
Okay, and what year did y'all get started?
Oh gosh, I don't know, 15 years ago. Oh, math, let's do math. Well, the kids were babies, so a good 15 years ago. Like we're in 26, so the boys were back little babies, and they started off in KidsQ as soon as they could.
Oh, wow. So after y'all did that first contest, what was the next step? Did y'all go get more equipment or start looking for more competitions? How did it go?
Definitely looked for more. The environment was very welcoming. We even had teams, oh, there's another one in 2 weeks. There's another one in a month. You have to go to this event. They were telling you where you had to go. So we felt really welcomed, which was helpful because as a parent, we have 2 children with disabilities, and it's not always a welcoming environment when you have children with disabilities. You're kind of like on an island some days. So it was very interesting at first to be like, well, are they going to like the boys? Are they going to be able to hang out? Like, are the boys going to really be able to do what they needed to do? And we realized pretty quickly it was a very inclusive environment, which is why we actually started Inclusive BBQ Events. We felt that our kids were not going to be into sports. They weren't going to scouts. They aren't in theater or art, but cooking is a skill for life. You need to learn basic skills for cooking, and no matter where you are in life, learning how to cook is important. So that's where we felt that the boys were included. They were going to be able to learn a skill and, work on some social skills and, meet some new people, and they were playing all day, which was really important. They weren't in front of their tablets and their screens, and they weren't in front of the television. They were out in open fields and parking lots, and you'd see them every few hours just playing with kids, and that was what really made me stick around. And I fell in love with KidsQ. I loved everything about it because you see kids get frustrated, and you see them learn new skills, or you see them try new things that their parents never would have thought they would have tried, and excel beyond their parents sometimes. Even in the Northeast, we've got some pretty solid kids that are progressing into adults and beating their parents pretty quickly.
The kids getting more advanced because there's more knowledge out there and people sharing it. Like the young lady, JC Blurton, 13-year-old, up there beating adults at Memphis, and man, I'm like, wow. It blows your mind. So it's a good thing to get out there. What age did they start competing in KidsQ?
So up here, when they started, it was 5. So my younger one was 5, and they were 6. Now we kind of let them eke in around 4, but they were 5 and 6. And my younger one stayed until 16. This was his last year. He just finished up last year, so they stayed the duration. My older one kind of stopped just after COVID. There was a break, and he just kind of was like, I'm good with it. I've had my time. And we understood, like there was almost a 2-year gap up here that was very few for the kids, but more for adults. So we let him retire, as he said.
He retired. All right, that's excellent that they got into it and started liking it and found something that was a hobby outside of sticking to the TV and stuff like that. Like you said, the tablet, because most of the attention span is social media now, and it's kind of ruining a lot of people because everybody thinking they can be a super social media star versus actually doing something with a skill. So it's good that they got into it and they saw y'all competing as being an example also. I guarantee that they were watching y'all and see how y'all react and what did y'all do, and showed y'all interest, and they showed the interest in it. Hey, I want to be like mom and dad, and pushed on. Regardless if they wanted to do it or didn't do it, they still stuck with it because y'all hanging together as a family and rooting each other on. I know that meant a lot to them also.
It was a nice way to spend time together as a family. They turned into mini vacations. Like we were, different areas of New England or even beyond. We would pack up the car and go, and that was our mini vacation every couple weeks.
Okay, okay. And before we get into the more barbecue, tell us a little bit about yourself outside of barbecue, separated for the barbecue.
Uh, so by day, I work in a pediatric mental health nonprofit. I work closely with youth that have behavioral health and educational needs. I've done that my whole career, and we bring cooking into that as well. I have to. It's always like, the kids have a cupcake competition in the summer and a cookie competition in the winter, and during the off season, like when we don't do something with them, I always want to make sure staff know that they should be able to how to prepare a snack or where things are in the kitchen. And they know that I push on that for them because it's a skill they need. And the kids like when I come up because I'm not typically always with them. I'm higher leadership, but when I come on the floor, they always know like, what are you cooking? Where are you going next? What's going on? So it's a nice topic of conversation that isn't, your typical TV show or social media. You can have off-topic conversation with them.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. How long you been doing that?
So I've worked for pediatric mental health my whole career. I won't leave pediatric mental health. It is something that I believe in fully, and I believe in making sure that children have a skill that can keep them healthy. And for me, it's cooking. But I mean, just having, social bonds so that they feel healthy in their anxiety or depression and whatnot. It's really important for me that they have a safe adult to talk to.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. That's what we trying to do that with our daughter. She's around that age where she influenced easily, so we're trying to find people that we trust that she can talk to besides us and not be influenced at school by what other people doing. And as far as young ladies, I know it's harder than guys with being influenced and trying to fit in and seeing stuff on social media and trying to be like that, even though a lot of it is not real, and they're trying to be what they see on social media when they can't be that because a lot of it is fake. So
And we have those hard conversations even with the kids, like what either in my day job or at cooking competitions. Like, is that really real? Are you really going to be able to achieve that? Well, what's realistic? And having those hard conversations, even in the moment, right? And showing them that even adults stumble and make wrong choices, but what can we do with it?
exactly, exactly. Yeah, that's why when I tell her something, I try to explain why I'm telling her that she can't do something or what we went through, so it won't hurt her in the long run. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's easy to explain to her and show her, like, okay, you can't be on social media and be in these group chats and all this while you're playing a game because you don't know who you're chatting with. But the temptation of it still. So we had to put blocks and stuff on her.
Yeah.
I know sometimes you feel like she's being left out, but I'm like, we're doing this to protect you because that's our job. Because you're not old enough to comprehend the dangers out there, and that's our job to keep you safe and stuff. So that mental health thing is really important, and that's why I named it BBQ Therapy, because this right here is our therapy, just going outside and getting away from everything and just relaxing and doing what you enjoy.
And that's how we see it too. We see it as a great self-care activity to, get out and do something you enjoy. And, whether it be a little competitive or not, or you're just trying to take a break from your day job, it's there for you.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about becoming BBQ Mom. Now, everybody heard the nickname. How did BBQ Mom happen?
Oh gosh. It had always been used. Like people are like, you're such a mom. You're such a mom. Well, I am a mom. But about 8 years ago now, I started really pushing heavy on making sure that kids had a team of the year up here in New England. That they were doing a lot of contests. They can earn points like adults. So 8 years ago, with the help of the Northeast Barbecue Society, I founded the nation's first KidsQ toy. No other organization had it. And I took the premise from the adults, but kind of scaled it down a little bit because they're not doing, 15, 20 events. They're doing like 6 or 7. And it just kind of stuck from there. I've gone to different states and helped teens cook. I've gone and helped little kids cook. And it just kind of stuck, and everybody just called me mom, and that's where I got the name BBQ Mom. And I own it. I love it. I enjoy everything about it. I get excited. I let the kids pick the category. I don't ever pick it. So for example, like if I run an event, I'm walking around asking the kids, "Oh, you got to cook cupcakes today. What do you want to cook next time?" So they make the choice, and I'm sitting on the ground with them. I'm high-fiving them when they turn in. I, I'm there to, they ask the difficult questions like, "This isn't going well. What do I do?" Or, "This kid's always beating me." But I'm like, if you're not looking at your score. So having those hard conversations, you're not looking at your scores. You're not looking at like, are you getting distracted, or did your cooker get too hot? So having those heart to hearts like you do with your daughter, you have it in the field with them, right? It becomes like a coach at that point. And even now with the older kids, as they are on social media, they'll message you, be like, "Look what I'm cooking today," or "I can't do this," or and you become that safe spot for the kids, that they can still expand on that hobby. Or they learned how to apply for jobs, and like, how do you use KidsQ as a reference? And it's like, well, look at all the skills you have. You have time management, you have critical thinking, you have the ability to communicate, you have the ability to pivot when things become stressful. Those are all skills that you need for a job. So those conversations start being had at like 8, 9, 10, and they realize it when they're 13, 14, even up to 16 when they're getting jobs. It's like, wait a minute, I already know how to do all this.
Yeah, definitely skill, time management, following directions, and just also, I mean, you're competing against yourself. So if you check your score and not worry about other score, hey, I did better than I did last time.
Exactly.
Just, I mean, anything to boost yourself up, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a hobby and it's not to be taken serious, and it's all about having fun. But kids, they don't see it that way sometimes. But like, and that's our job, to step in and make them see the bright side of it and teach them to get better. That's why I say people that hold stuff to themselves, I'm not a fan of that. And because the simple basic stuff is easy to share with people, because in order to grow the sport of barbecue, you got to pass it on to other people so they could pass it on to other people and they could pass it on. And trying to gatekeep and all this stuff, you don't have to share everything, but the basic skills, you shouldn't have no problem with pulling somebody to the side that's trying. Or if you see them doing wrong, instead of letting them drown, go over there, "Hey, here's a better way to doing that," and just share it with them, especially the young people, and because they'll get frustrated, stop, and that's the end of barbecue after a certain period of time. And
We say the same thing, and I'm the first person, like, I'll share my timeline, I'll share my packing list, I'll share all my recipes. At the end of the day, if it's going to help you stick around, I want you to, right? You might not be able to cook my recipe, you might be able to cook my timeline, but it at least gives you a premise on where to start. And if you don't understand something there, come back and ask. Just like 2 weeks ago, there was a brand new team, like, I'm struggling in chicken. I'm like, here's my whole setup, go with it, like, go try it. And then he went out and practiced, and he came back, he's like, "Oh my goodness, this actually makes sense now. Like, I saw where I was going wrong." You're not in it alone. Most teams, even high caliber teams, will answer a question for you. It's they might not tell you all of it, but just some of your best skills are listening, just sitting there and listening, because you will learn so much if you ask just one question.
that's definitely true. And a lot of them, I mean, once you get the basics, you can figure out stuff on your own and come up with your own stuff after that. But as long as you get the basics and, like I say, research, take a class if you can afford it, or ask somebody. If you can't afford a class, pull somebody to the side. "Hey, could you show me this?" And go home and practice. That's the number one thing. Just practice and get those hours in, and you never know what happens. And you might wind up beating adults also. But I love seeing the kids getting out there and having enthusiasm, because I didn't get into it until COVID. So I'm like, I didn't missed out on all this, and I'm 50 now. So it's like doing all this late in life, and that's what I see younger people. Hey, stick with it. Hey, don't get discouraged. Keep going, because I want to see you do better than what I did, and starting late and get into this late, because it's fun, it's family. How did you get into setting up events? When did that come about?
So that was COVID. During COVID, my husband and I were sitting at home, and we watched contest after contest just fold. Like, they couldn't sustain the year or two break. And some of these contests have been around for 15, 16 years. Like they were really long contests up here. And I remember sitting next to my husband and going, like, I think we can do this. Like, I think we can figure out how to have a contest. Like, we've been to so many, right? And I knew I could talk to organizers that had decided to stop. So one day we decided to set up a contest in Rhode Island. I live in Massachusetts, but Rhode Island is 20 minutes from my house. And we found a contest, and then we had got in contact with a team that was taking a class, and they're like, there was a fire at the American Legion. And I was like, I grew up on that field. Like, what are you talking about? There was a fire there? Like, what do they need? And that spawned another one. And we're like, okay, well, we've got a big football field. And we just knew that in order to keep teams engaged, there had to be events. Also in COVID, we saw people like yourself, right? Like, they got into Pitmasters, they saw the YouTube videos, they were home, they could go outside and grill. Well, we started finding all those teams. We're like, come on, come out of your backyard. Like, look what we're doing. We've always done this. Like, look what you have a new group of friends. And that's where it spawned. Year 1, I ran 2 contests. Year 3, I jumped up to 5. That was a lot. I kind of like that. I kind of overextended myself. I really want to run because I'm a team too. Like, I know what the teams like and I know what the teams need. I'm a judge. Like, I know what the judging area really does successful with. But we found our sweet spot with 3. Like, 3 is our sweet spot. We run one in May, which we call Mass in May, which is around the same time as Memphis in May and Minnesota in May. And I wanted to do that for a reason. It just kind of clicks. It makes sense. We do mental health awareness, which is right in my sweet spot. My second one is Cora Cares for Kids, and it's for Shriners Hospital. My son is a patient there, and that is the longest contest running in New England. It typically averages almost 50 teams, but it's not about the teams in that one. It's all about the kids. We pair children from the hospital with pro teams. We pair them with teams. And this year we have 27 children cooking, which is the biggest one on the East Coast that we're aware of. Lakeland might be a little bit higher, but that's in Florida, but pretty much from Virginia north, we are the biggest KidsQ. And then the last one I run is a toy drive at the end of the year. So we spread them out every couple months because I have a job. I like to compete. If I'm just organizing, I can't compete. I can't have an opportunity to judge. Mm-hmm. My husband and I rep events too for our local organization. We like to know all the parts so that we can help all the parts. My husband sits on the board. I'm on a committee in KCBS. We joke barbecue's our third child.
So what does a typical day at an event look like for you when you're running it?
The day before, I can easily pull off over 10,000 steps in about 4 hours. You're parking teams, you're getting them settled, you make sure you know where their water, their power, the trash is, you're meeting them. The next day, you are checking in with the 922, which is the good luck shot, and then you're running in to go meet your judges, assuring your reps have everything they need with like water and crackers, and then organizing your awards at the end. It's, a chaotic 24 hours that I would not change for anything. And an event like Cora, it's, we get up to the site on Wednesday, welcome teams on Friday, and it's all the way to Sunday night. So it really is, a week-long event for us to really pull off. But once you get there, you feel the buzz, you feel the excitement. I joke sometimes, I wish I could stop everything and go compete because the teams are so excited about the event. But even with a golf cart, there are like on that one, I have a golf cart and I'm like, I'm still pulling off 10,000 steps or more a day. You have roller skates on when you're an organizer, but good communication. You have to communicate with your teams. You have to communicate with your judges. You have to communicate with, anybody that you're working with. And no matter how hard the day is, just be friendly about it because everyone else can have a hard day. It's a tiring day. Like I go to bed hard that night. I'm tired, but the next morning I wake up early and I like what I do, and my husband and I can run off and do what we need to do to help the teams and get the judges settled and the reps all set too.
Okay. And how long before an event do y'all actually start planning? Is it like months or half a year? Or?
So we like to tell new organizers 6 to 9 months is a really good plan. And before you even do anything, know that you have your property and what amenities it has. So if you don't have power, that's okay. Teams typically have a generator or a battery box, but knowing you have your property and you've sanctioned with whoever you choose to sanction with are the 2 big steps. And then you really have to meet the teams. The teams don't come to you. And I'll be honest, they don't know who you are, they don't know where you are, they don't know that you understand what barbecue teams need. And the same thing with judges. Who are you? Why am I going to go to your event versus something else? So you have to be out there and networking. It's a profession, really. If you think about it, you have to network in your own profession, you have to network in barbecue. So getting into the groups and, you know, posting your event or answering questions right away when they, like, within a day or so when they ask a question is really important, because it shows that you're invested in them, that you want them there. And even if you've answered the same question 7 times, it doesn't matter, because it's a new person, right? Is there power and water? Yep, there's power and water. Don't worry about it. Or, you know, this is a generator only event. Don't, you know, I'm sorry, but we've got lots of space for you. Just that communication matters. At first, it'll be a little slower, but then the last 2 months is, you know, almost every day, 10 to 15 minutes, checking in with your teams, emailing back, sending confirmations. It, it it is not hard, but you have to dedicate the time to do it to have a successful event. I always tell new organizers they're not going to come to you. You have to go to them, because they're once they've been there once, they're going to start talking about it. But that first time through is going to be bumpy, because they just don't know who you are.
I mean, I know through experience with the podcast, when I jumped into it, like, who is this guy? And as it went along, I started chugging along and catching momentum. And they were like, oh,
Now
okay.
people are finding you.
Then start going to competitions, showing my face, introducing, going to classes, meeting people, and here I am. But yeah, so what people do, they go to, I guess they want to do a competition or set up one, then they go to y'all and tell you what they want, and y'all set it up from there. Is that how it's done?
We don't like we don't necessarily take, like, we don't have a charity coming to us setting something up. But no, we initiate, we run the, like, we found a charity that we want to connect with, and we do it. It works better when we, like, we're not part, like, we find a charity we like and want to support it, so we run the event that way. We did try the I have a charity, could you help us? There's never anything wrong with that. It just that we found a method that works for our schedules, a method that works for the teams. So we know charities that we like to partner with already, and we work with them and say, okay, we're going to run the event, and a portion of this is going to you. For Shriners Hospital, the one in Maine that we're most known for, that has so many different moving parts. Saturday has a KidsQ. It has a one meat rib that turns into a rib auction, which to our understanding is the only one in the United States. We auction off your ribs to the public, out, like, just like a regular auction, and all that money goes to the hospital. The teams have their own little traditions that they do on Friday night and Saturday night. So it's just a very, you know, a very traditional event up here that has, you know, taken away that this year we've got teams from Texas, from Iowa, we've got teams from North Dakota, Alabama, all coming in because they've heard how much fun it is to go to this contest. Not just because it's a KCBS contest, it's because of what else it has to offer and how much impact it has to Shriners Hospital.
Yeah, it sounds like an excellent event. All right, your motto is give, laugh, and Q. How do those 3 words become the heart of everything that y'all do?
Well, like, you know how, like, when you walk into like a store, there's always like give, laugh, love, like live, laugh, love. We were just playing around with it, and it's stuck. And, like, we really want everybody to love barbecue and give back. And it has to be fun. Like, barbecue has to be fun. And if you're not doing it right, like, you know, it's just not in it for you. But yeah,
Mhm.
we really want to get, like, the give back part, and you gotta love it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I ask you this: why do you think barbecue has an effect that almost any other food doesn't have, as far as bringing people together?
I think it's the open table, like that open fire, that open table, back to basics, that really just kind of sets that anybody understands that this is back to basics, and it's just going to take a while, and you got some time to talk.
Yeah, definitely. Just out in the elements, relaxing. Like, just kind of, I don't want to say caveman, but it's just like out there, just chilling. You ain't got to be technical.
No dinner for technical. Just cook something.
Yeah, as long as it's good enough to eat. All right. And what do you think is the hardest part of organizing a barbecue event?
Ooh, keeping up with everything. I really stress that the teams aren't happy, or the judges aren't happy, or the reps aren't happy. So for me, just keeping up with communications and making sure that everybody understands what's going on. That's the most stressful part. Like, for example, while we were sitting here, I got a text that a team registered. Well, I want to make sure they got their registration email. I want to like, and it's only been 5 minutes. They're fine. Like, I know they're fine. But in my head, I'm like Crest just messaged me, and he'll laugh when he sees this. He's like, you know, I'm fine. I'm like, I know that, but in my heart, like, I need to make sure that I, put it on my spreadsheet. Everything's checked off. That team is registered, and it's in my checklist.
Hey, that's the mom of you.
Yep.
So hey, you need to get you a T-shirt if you did barbecue mom.
Oh, I've got a few. Somebody sent me one, and it took me months to figure out who sent it to me. I found out it was one of the high school girls I worked with, but I got a barbecue mom shirt in the mail, and I had no idea where it came from. No return address, nothing. And it took me months to track it down. Everybody was silent. Nobody would tell me.
All right, and what's the most rewarding moment during an event that you organize?
That's tough. There's been some good ones. I think probably at the Cora cook-off in Maine, we were having cooks meeting, and we were talking about KidsQ, and they were supposed to cook hot dogs that day. And there was a little boy who wasn't even part of our group. Like, he just happened to be hanging there with his parents. His parents were volunteers. And he said to his dad, like, I want to cook hot dogs. And he's like, well, buddy, we got to volunteer. Like, we can't. Like, this is what we're doing today. And another team heard that, and he ran right out to the store and got everything to cook hot dogs and went and found him and says, no, you come with me. We're going to go cook hot dogs. And I was like, he left the site to go get everything. And I'm like, you sweet little thing. Like, what else? And to this day, they still cook together. And this is like 6 years later. Wow. Alan and Carter are two peas in a pod. They both match each other comedy, but Alan heard it and pulled it off within 20 minutes and got Carter to cook. And that to me was like what KidsQ is about. Like, a kid wanted to, and they said yes. And actually that same year, we had a little girl that heard a radio, like years ago when radio was even bigger, heard a radio ad and told her dad never had cooked barbecue. Dad, I want to do that. I got a call. And he's like, I barely have a grill. Like, can she show up? I'm like, she's here. Let's go. We'll figure it out. And she showed up and then got dad involved. So like, those moments are what's important to me, like that the kids are being able to access it.
Yeah, that was definitely excellent. And he definitely touched that young man's life, and he'll probably always remember it. I mean, for the rest of his life. And you got a lifelong friend.
And the two of them are so identical. They're so funny together.
All right. And let's move to one of the main subjects, Kathy versus Tom. So how did this get started? Were y'all competing as far as full events? Or?
Every year we always do one or two against each other just to kind of mix it up, just to have some fun. This year we're really focusing on getting some of the newer teams to be more invested in barbecue, because you got to make, like, if you're in KCBS or CBA or you have a minimum of 25 teams. And this post-COVID bubble is starting to slide a little bit up here. So we're starting to like struggle to get to 25 at a few contests. Maybe we're at 26 or 27. So we're going back to our roots, and we call it going down to AA or AAA. We're going to some of more of the backyard events, and we're cooking separately because we want to have fun. We want to test out a recipe. So we picked 7 events across a bunch of states to just go do some backyards and cook separately. And we upped the ante. Like, we have shirts that says he won, she won. So like, whoever won the last one, they got to wear it to the next one. So right now we're 2 in already, and I am up by 2. So the first one, honestly, we cooked chicken and ribs, and I thought he had me. Like, I thought like his ribs were better. Like, we both agree they were better, and we're struggling in ribs right now. So for us, this is like a great like practice to see like what can we figure out in ribs. When I got a call, I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. And everybody in the crowd was like, oh, here we go. Like, they know, like, it's a season long thing. Next one up was steak. And what's funny is I went to Worlds last year in steak, and I'm like, all right, come on. I'm like, and I like, so I won in steak. So we've got another one at the end of August that's coming up, and we're cooking separate again. Our friends have like embraced it. He's a great guy. He's already worn his like she won shirt twice. It's pink. Like he's in, he knows. And he'll get me. Like, he'll like next contest up, he'll probably like come in hard and like, take me down. But it keeps things fun. It makes you want to participate in the sport. And the teams are invested in it too. They're like, well, who's up now? What's going on next? And even the backyard teams or the newer teams are like, oh, that's a great idea. I didn't know you could do that. It's just, it keeps us wanting to keep going, because if you've been in it this long, sometimes you get tired and it's like,
Yeah.
do I want to do another cook, or do I want to, chase points, or do I want to, go to the jack, or what do I want to do? Right. So for this year, we split up and just said, we're just going to do a bunch like the local level and have some fun with it. And we already are having a blast. He's mad about it and like, I'm going to get you back. And like, I'm going to keep going. And when you're up too, you got to be careful, because that could change quickly. But I think we've always done this. We've always at least picked a couple to cook separately. It started when, even before COVID, we were also struggling to get to 25, and we started separating, like, ha ha ha, we don't care, whatever. Watching him make his first kale box was hilarious, but then like, I can't slice a rack of ribs. Like, I will throw them. Like, I hate slicing ribs. So we all have our skills that we do well with and ones we struggle with. So it keeps things interesting.
Okay. Are you a big trash talker?
I'll just give a look. I'm not really like a trash talker. I'll kind of give a look, or we'll like rib each other at home, not necessarily like when we're at an event. We also know the value of how much we rely on each other. We like to tell the story years ago when we were cooking. This is when we used to prep on site, and we weren't talking. Like, we just kind of knew, like, I had to do this, he had to do this, and we didn't talk to each other for like 90 minutes. The team next door are like, are you guys mad at each other? We're like, no, like, we just know what we need to do. We don't need to talk. And I didn't think anything of it, but we balance each other just as well, right? So as much as we can compete against each other, we know we need each other at certain points to balance out what works well as a team.
Definitely. Which one of y'all is more competitive?
Him. I go along for the ride. Like, if I lose at the end of the season, it's still funny. Like, I'll just laugh at it, and I'll wear his shirt that says he won. Like, it doesn't bother me. He's much more competitive.
So I take it you're more calmer than he is.
I think that depends. I get more stressed out at turn-in. He's much more calm about everything else. I stress over a turn-in. Like, it's not good enough. I'll rip apart a box. Like, I don't like it, or I don't like what's in there. I'll pick something else. So I'm more internally competitive, like right there, not necessarily like out in the field. Like, if we get a good score, great. If we don't, like, I don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. So who handles losing better?
I don't know. It's I think we equally, because we go into it knowing it's fun. Like, I think it's just, we just laugh at each other. I think we're frustrated for a few minutes, and then we just pick on each other afterwards.
And have the family pick sides yet?
The younger one has picked me. My older one's like, I don't know.
And if you win, will Tom hear about it for the next 10 years?
His barbecue friends will not let him live it down. They're already like, come on, Tom, what's going on? Come on, let's go.
Yeah, if he get down by 3, I mean, that's hard to come
We'll
back.
have to see what happens at the end of August when we go again. So
Yeah, if it's down 3-0, it's hard to come back from that.
he's got to go 4 straight after that. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. And what's one category that you're confident you got them? If y'all cooked it every time, you got them at least 90% of the time.
Chicken. Hands down, chicken. It's always been chicken. And he'll take me in ribs any day. Just because I can't cut a rack of ribs. Like, I might be able to cook it and might look good, but I can't cut a rack of ribs. I will go through 4 racks of ribs and maybe get 6 bones. I cooked alone last year, and he was repping, and he goes, watch her, she's gonna throw a rack of ribs. And I almost did. I was like, I can't do this. I get in my head. So we know the categories that we can pick on each other for. Pork, I could probably take pork, and he'll take brisket. That's why we balance each other out so well. Like, in a 4-meat category, we each have our categories that go well.
All right, a couple of quick answers. All right, favorite competition you've ever attended?
Cora, hands down. Even we competed in it, and now we run it. Hey, Cora.
All right, favorite barbecue town?
Ooh, we've been to Austin and Kansas City. I'll go Lockhart, Texas. That's hard, but I'll go Lockhart.
Funniest thing that you witnessed at a barbecue contest?
We were at a barbecue contest. It was late in the night. We had a few beverages, and the team behind us had gotten into a pop-up trailer. Well, they never put down the stabilizers, and all of a sudden you see the pop-up trailer tip, and a gentleman roll out, and his dog roll out afterward. Just bang! And we like.
Wow. That's crazy. All right. And where do you hope Inclusive BBQ Events is 5 years from now?
I would love for all sanctioning bodies to have a KidsQ toy. I really want kids to be able to track their points and grow their skills, because it's not just cooking. There's, like I talked about, there's so many soft skills, and if they can use toy to help that, that's important. And secondly, I would like more KidsQ scholarships. There's quite a few out now, but years ago there were not. But more scholarships for kids who have been cooking.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea as far as the team of the year for the kids, because it'll keep them enthusiastic about it instead of just having to do one here, one there, and one here, but have something to shoot for, and being able to get a trophy at the end of the year for toughing it out and getting out and winning those competitions or getting points and stuff like that. And it helps them work on their craft to get their scores up to be in contention for it. So it's definitely a good idea, because I never thought about that until you said it earlier about the team of the year. But I mean, I think it's an excellent idea because they don't have it. That's the first time I've heard it.
Yeah, so we're pretty lucky up here in the Northeast. We've had it for about 10 years now. There are some other sanctioning bodies or areas that are doing it, but we were to the best of our knowledge up here, we were the first in the country, and many organizations don't have it. And the kids look at their scores. They do, and they look at it in the sense that I've made gains, I've tried something new, I've used those soft skills, I've stayed calm and patient to get where I can. And you think about it, you've got soccer and softball or scouts, you earn all these accolades, right? It's really no different.
Definitely. So I hope a lot of people hear this and get involved and start doing their own all over the place to get more people involved in different areas. Besides your event, what's one event that you dream about hosting if you had the chance or opportunity?
I'd love to host like a KidsQ invitational, like something that brought all the kids together from across the U.S. and make sure there was no barrier for fiscal, like there would be no barrier cost, because to travel as a family is hard because they can't travel by themselves. So there is an additional fiscal cost. And at the end, the winner would have some sort of scholarship or money that could be put aside if they wanted a training school or they wanted to go to a trade school or a college or something like that, just because it keeps the education component, which is really important. That would be a dream to be able to pull that off and, have no barriers, all access, all included.
That was a good idea.
It's a big reach, but, it's out there.
I thought you were going to say the Jack or something like that. You blew my mind on that one. I was like, wow, that was a good answer.
I would like to go to the Jack, don't get me wrong, but when I focus on what we are focused on, for me it's important that the kids have something that is that kind of like a Jack for the kids, right? Like that they get an invitational, they get to go somewhere, and like the Royal has a big KidsQ, there's big KidsQ here and there, but there's no invitational for them. Like they don't get a couple organizations are working on it, but like something big that they can that's theirs.
Yeah, definitely. But that's an excellent idea. All right, and if someone listening wants to get involved, what's the easiest first step to assist with helping y'all with anything?
InclusiveBBQEvents.org, or you can find me online. I'm almost online every day and answering questions and out there. I'm happy to help you set up a contest, figure out KidsQ. I even help the organizers in Canada answer questions about organizing in KidsQ. I'm very accessible and I want to be, you know what I mean? I want to be there to help other people understand it. As tired as some days can run with barbecue, I'm happy to help because it means that there's more available.
Definitely. All right, I'm going to play one quick game with you and get you out of here. I know we got to
You didn't tell me about this part. I got to play a game?
Well, in college basketball, they have a tournament bracket team. So what I did is created a tournament bracket of 16 meats that you cook on the grill. Ooh. And I'm going to give you each matchup. Tell me which one you prefer to eat. We'll see which one's the winner. All right, first matchup, brisket versus hot dog.
Brisket.
All right, next matchup, smoked chicken versus pork chop.
Chicken.
All right. Pork ribs versus lamb.
Ooh, lamb. I'm taking an underdog on that one.
Steak versus pork belly.
Steak, because I went to steak worlds.
Okay. Beef ribs versus barbecue shrimp.
That's a tough one. That's going to be a hard one. I'll go shrimp because seafood. We have a lot of seafood up this way.
Okay. Hamburger versus smoked bologna.
Hamburger.
Okay. Sausage versus smoked ham.
Smoked ham, if I can smoke it. Not like what you get at the store.
All right. Smoked turkey versus burnt ends.
Turkey smoke. Yeah, down with the turkey. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Brisket versus chicken.
Brisket.
Okay. Lamb versus steak.
Another hard matchup. I'll go lamb.
Oh, wow. Shrimp versus hamburger. All right. Ham versus turkey.
Turkey.
Okay. And final four, you got brisket versus lamb. All right. And shrimp versus turkey.
Shrimp.
Okay. And final, you got brisket versus shrimp.
Oh, short cook or long cook? Ooh. All right. Probably brisket because it's so, like, when you get it right, you get it right. Like, shrimp can go in a different direction, but I think it's got to be brisket.
Okay. All right. Brisket is the winner. All right. All right, Kathy, your therapy session is over. If you want to give your website and promote anything, you can definitely do that at this time.
InclusiveBBQEvents.org, and all of our socials are Inclusive BBQ Inc. INC. Come find me, ask me some questions. I'm there for you. And, hopefully someday someone can travel to Maine. It's the only contest in Maine, and see what CORE is about.
Definitely. And what's the date on that event?
So this year it is the 14th, 15th, and 16th of August. It is always the third weekend in August in Maine. Perfect weather, not hot, always gorgeous. If you want to get away from the heat, that's where you want to go.
All right, definitely. All right. And like I said, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story and what you do. It's very inspiring, and your heart for kids is awesome, and the ideas that you have for them. So definitely, if anybody listening out that can assist with putting some of this stuff together or donating or anything like that, please reach out to her. But I definitely appreciate you coming on and telling your story. I know you've been watching me for a while now, so I hope I'm doing pretty good with this podcast.
You make my traffic to Boston very pleasurable. Like when one drops, I'm like, that's what I'm listening to at 5 a.m. So I appreciate you, Tavis. It's been great.
No problem, but I thank you for coming on and just helping the barbecue community, because I love hearing people's story and what they do. Most of the time we hear about the same people and the same stories, so that's why I'm trying to bring different voices, and definitely I'll probably try to bring you back towards the end of the year to see how everything pans out with you and your husband, as well as how the events went also, and any new things with you. So I'll keep in touch with you.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. And on that note, we'll see everybody next episode. Thank you for joining us for another therapy session. And remember, like, follow, and subscribe to help the barbecue therapy community. And also visit our website at www.bbqtherapypodcast.com.